Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to round 2 of my locals this week. Here we have Exosisters on the left versus Dogmatika. Gravekeepers, I guess, is what we could call this deck. I'm just going to call it Dogmatika for short, I guess. Friend Alex on the left, friend Connor on the right. Yeah, both duelists that you guys have seen on the channel many a time. And we're going to see Exosister win the die roll here. And we'll see them lead with a copy of Pot of Prosperity. This deck is one of those decks that has a pretty lenient extra deck in terms of what it needs and what it doesn't need. Pot of Prosperity is pretty much always an easy banish 6, especially at the start of the game like this. We're going to see him reveal a copy of Ellis, I believe, Sophia, Ash, D-Shifter, Mine, Necro Valley. Also, guys, shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you want to support the channel and pick up any of their new products they just released, don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills off at checkout. You can find a link to the site down below in the description. So we'll see what he decides to take here. It looks like he is just going to go ahead and snag a copy of Ash. Pretty good generic card to be able to grab here. Grabbing Mystic Mine really doesn't make too much sense. Grabbing D-Shifter also really doesn't make too much sense either. Unless you have like a copy of Spell Striker in hand or something to get that pot out of the grave, but highly doubt, right? I don't know why I just randomly brought up Spell Striker, but I love that card. Then we're going to see him activate Exosister Martha, one of the best pieces of support this deck has received, allowing it to summon itself from the hand, and then summon an Exosister monster from the deck, or summon in one Ellis from the deck. So basically just gets to him a free rank 4 here, and that is going to be Caspitel, which basically says if this card is Ixie summon using an Exosister monster as material, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyards for the rest of the turn. You can detach one material from this card, add an Exosister monster from your deck to your hand. Caspitel will be hit with an Imperm here on the effect to try to search. Looks like we'll see our Exosister player follow up with a copy of Pax. And Pax will allow him to go ahead and, during the main phase, pay 800 life points to add an Exosister card from the deck to the hand. And we're going to see him add a copy of Vadis, which is basically, I want to say, like Martha in trap form, I want to say, because it says pay 800 life points, choose an Exosister monster from your deck, then take another Exosister monster from your deck that is mentioned on that monster and special summon both, but shuffle them into the deck. So it's kind of like Martha, but as a trap card instead of a monster. So we're going to see him set one, which we can imagine is the Vadis. And then we're going to see him pass turn there. We know Ash is in hand. And will we see the Ash get used on the Extrav? Looks like we will not. Extrav just getting to walk free here. I don't know. Anytime I see Extrav and I have Ash in hand, I'm ashing at frame 1 all the time. There's just like no doubt in my mind. Like, you can't let your opponent resolve Pot of Greed. Just because, like, if your opponent activated Pot of Desires, like, would you let them resolve Pot of Desires? No, you're pretty much always going to Ash that card. Draw 2 is pretty insane. So it looks like we're going to see him activate, I think, Throne, it is. It's going to get Commandant, and then Commandant is going to go ahead and grab Necro Valley. Both players rocking Necro Valleys here. We're going to see him activate it, and then normal summon a Gravekeeper, which I'm not sure which one that is, but we're going to see him link it into Magistus Moon Maiden. Now I got to look up the Gravekeeper cards and see what he just normal summoned. Yu-Gi-Oh's like oldest archetype seeing play here. I'd love to see it. I believe it was Gravekeeper's Recruiter. And then if this card you control is sent to the graveyard, add a Gravekeeper's monster with 50 less attack. So we'll get to search one out. And then we're going to see him special summon Ecclesia, since he does control a monster summoned from the extra deck. Well, there is a monster from the extra deck on the board. He'll go ahead and get to search, a copy of Punishment, and we're going to see him set 3 cards and pass turn. Necro Valley is like the last thing you really want to like use against a deck like Exosister, since like the deck, as we saw, is basically maining Necro Valley, as we saw off that Pot of Prosperity. It's a very anti, graveyard deck. Pretty much all of the monsters say that while they're on field, if your opponent moves a card out of the graveyard, they basically just allow you to Ixie summon, like Zodiac Ixies summons on top of them to go for some of the really powerful Ixies monsters. So now we're going to see him pass turn there. We'll see him lead with Caspitel, detaching the Martha to go ahead and search. Gonna go for a copy of Sophia. Pull the Exosister cards back up. I wish I could have all of these cards pulled up. I suppose I could. If I had them all on DB, a separate deck with all the Exosister cards and the Gravekeeper cards. I probably should have done that beforehand, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to see him normal summon Sophia. And then it looks like on the summon, we're going to see a copy of Punishment. And Punishment is going to go ahead and target the Caspitel, since I believe Entis has 25. Target Caspitel to destroy it, and then the Entis will destroy the Sophia, but he still does have Vadis in the backline. This is going to allow him to get 2 other bodies out onto the field to be able to work with, to go for another Xyz summon, possibly get into a Michaelis. So we'll see him summon out a copy of Irene and another copy of Sophia. And then I believe Sophia says if you control another Exosister monster, you can draw 1 card. Then if you control Exosister Irene, you can gain 500 life points. So I believe he would get the effect of Sophia here if he wanted to. And then also get to gain 800. Unless Vadis negates their effects. But I don't think it does. So I must be missing something as to why he couldn't do that. It looks like he's going to go for Michaelis. Michaelis will get hit with a Solemn Judgment. I'm still learning the Exosister cards as of late because there have been a lot of, like, a huge popularity increase for this deck at our locals in the past couple weeks. Like, not even, like, recent, like, the past week or two. A lot of people are starting to get onto the Exosister deck, and I have a vague idea of what most of the cards do. But the intricacies of certain cards, and like I know they all can be like quick effect Xyz summons if you move something out of the grave, but some of them have like other, you know, niche effects, like just reading the Sophia and like Irene and Stella. They all have their own sort of unique effects. So now we're gonna see him resolve another Martha to get into another Michaelis. The first one got hit with the Judgment. We're gonna try again to go for a second copy of Michaelis. And then we're going to see him activate Michaelis to go ahead and detach to search an Exosister spell or trap from the deck to the hand. We could see him possibly go for Carpe Divum. We could see him go for Returnia, Vadis, or Armament, which I know is played in some lists. Also, we could go ahead and search out Pax here. A whole plethora of very good Exosister spells and traps to be able to go ahead and grab at this point. Which one is most valuable, though? The Ecclesia being on board, not being able to destroy by a monster summoned from the extra deck, is going to basically, I want to say maybe force Michaelis to banish. Because all of the main decked Exosister monsters are actually really small attack-wise, like 300, 100. I think Martha is the strongest at 16. The rest don't have more than 500 attack, which is kind of funny. So it looked like he was going to go ahead and add a copy of Returnia there. But now looking at possibly going ahead and grabbing Pax. I know one thing with this deck, it's important to make sure that you have follow-up, and Martha is like one of the best cards to have as follow-up. So we'll see him grab Pax, and maybe the reason he's going for Pax is so that he can get access to, I believe, the 3rd Martha that is still in deck at this point. He's resolved 2 in this somewhat grindy game 1. So the Michaelis also currently at 2,500. It says, if you control this card that was Xyz summoned this turn by using an Exosister monster as material quick effect, you can target 1 card on the field, 1 card your opponent controls, or in their graveyard, banish it. So might have to use that to clear the Ecclesia here. He can't go for the Magnifica because I believe you need 2 rank 4 Exosister monsters to be able to go into that. So he's going to need another way to Xyz. But I believe the normal summon has already... Well, I don't know if he's normal summoned yet, actually. So I know he used the Return or the Vadis, and that summon got judgmented when he went to go for Michaelis. Now we're into the second Michaelis off Martha. So it looks like he will use the effect of Michaelis to banish, and it will hit a set, which is going to be another Extrav. which is kind of nice. It'll prevent the opponent from getting a free draw 2 next turn. And then we're going to see him go ahead and activate that Pax now that was just searched to go ahead and add a Martha. And then if you added an a monster by this effect, you can special summon it if the other Exosister monster mentioned. Oh, so Pax can also just special summon too. I did not realize that. You learn something new every day. And then I think he used the effect of Sophia, or not Sophia, Ellis to special summon it while you control another Exosister. And then he's going to be able to get into Magnifica by overlaying those. And running over the Moon Maiden for 2,000, then swinging in at 28 because Magnifica can attack twice. And that is going to be enough for a game. And we are into a Game 2 situation. Quick shout out to TCG Player if you guys want to support the channel by shopping on the site. Don't forget to use my affiliate link found in the description below. We're going to see Dogmatika, Necro Valley, Gravekeeper shenanigans go first here in Game 2, leading with Ecclesia. That will get slapped with an Imperm. We're going to see him set 3 and pass. Exosister leading with a copy of Evenly Matched at the end of the battle phase. That is going to force out a Solemn Judgment, putting his opponent down to just 4,000, which is actually kind of scary against the Exosister deck when you take into account that Magnifica is a 2,800 body that can attack twice. Just not on monsters, right? Just attack twice, period, which is really, really strong. We're going to see him normal summon a copy of Stella. In fact, to go ahead and summon one from the hand. That's going to get hit with an Imperm. Could be many punishes to this. He could have just a copy of Ellis in hand already. He could have Martha. He could have Pax. Like, there's a lot of punishes to just Imperming Stella. We'll see if it ended up paying off or not. So I feel like if anything, you'd want to maybe hold the Imperm for the Caspatel to keep them off the search. And then we're also going to see him use Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring on Pax. I mean, that could also be punished by Martha or Ellis. But unfortunately, he does not have it. So we're going to see him pass turn. Gravekeeper's drawing a Necro Valley off the top, swinging in with the Ecclesia over top of the Stella, and passing turn. It looks like just almost a full hand of Exosister monsters, and there's the Martha. That might have been the top deck for turn, and if it is, that's pretty insane. We're going to see him resolve it, bringing out itself and a copy of Ellis. And now the engine is pretty much going to get rolling here, so long as there's nothing crazy in the backline. Could be maybe another Imperm, which is probably most likely. Could be a Judgment. But it looks like the summon will be successful. He'll go for Michaelis. That is going to go ahead and get Impermed on the effect of Search. He'll chain the effect to Banish in response to the Imperm, getting rid of that Ecclesia, which is kind of a roadblock again against the Exosister deck not being able to be destroyed by battle by monsters that were summoned from the extra deck, since that's basically the whole deck. We're going to see him normal summon Stella. Stella effect to go ahead and bring out a copy of Irene. And we're going to see him go for Caspatel. And looks like we're just going to see our Dogmatika Gravekeeper player scoop. And yeah, pretty easy matchup there, especially very quick game 2 there for Exosister. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Still learning these Exosister cards, so my apologies if I sounded a little bit clueless at times. But, you know, with this deck gaining more and more popularity, I should be getting a little better with future videos. So, last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, HGH Cyber, and Mango. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support.